Hey guys, I'm Mason and this is Wrestling in the Dark, the only professional wrestling podcast brought to you by a blind wrestling fan. Welcome to my AEW Double or Nothing special, part 1. I'm bringing you a 2-part special because Double or Nothing is tomorrow and I'm excited and I hope you're excited too. In part 1, I'm going to be talking my top 6 reasons why I'm excited for AEW, and in part 2, I'll be running through my predictions, what I think will happen at the pay-per-view. If you want to find out more about either of those, stick around and I'll talk AEW's Double or Nothing. My first reason for being excited about AEW is wrestlers that I've never heard of. There are so many wrestlers on this roster that I have never had any exposure to, and even if I have heard of them, I've not seen them. But there are countless people that I just haven't heard of, and I'm looking forward to being exposed to new talent so much. I'm not a particularly anti-WWE person at all. In fact, I love a lot of the talent there, and I understand why people have problems with the booking over there, but this isn't really about WWE and I don't want to go into that. So I'm really excited to see people that I just haven't heard of before or had any exposure to. Jungle Boy, Brian Pillman Jr., Dustin Thomas. Those are just 3 people that are in the Casino Battle Royale that I've never even heard of, and I've never had any real exposure to SoCal Uncensored, or certainly not the Strong Hearts, or any of those sort of members of the roster that haven't had as much exposure as some of the people higher up on the card. And I just can't wait, because for me, the more people I know, the more talent that I'm exposed to, the more I can learn, the more different types of wrestler that I'll be exposed to, and that for me can only be a good thing. So that is my number 1 reason why I am excited for AEW. Number 2 on the list is sort of the reverse of that. It's wrestlers that I have heard of, whether it's been through WWE or the indies, that are now reinventing themselves and finding new ways to present themselves, and that's something that I also find really, really exciting and intriguing. You've got Jericho there, you've got Pac, Moxley probably turning up at some point, Sean Spears. I'm excited to see all these people try and reinvent themselves and show me something that they haven't shown before. I have loved every second of the character that Jericho is playing these days. All the stuff on Road to Double or Nothing, all the crap that he's been giving Cody, it's been so entertaining to watch. The promos that I've seen from Pac have all been incredible, and it's really exciting to have a platform where people are just reinventing themselves, finding a whole new way to present their character and new places to take the character. And it can only be a good thing for me, is just seeing these people that I've had some interest in the past, that now get to show me more stuff that they can do, and I'm just really excited for that. Number 3 is the competition that they offer to WWE. Now, like I said, I'm a huge WWE fan. I find their wrestling pretty accessible, especially the network, and that's why I've always stuck with them. And I'm just excited to have someone provide some true competition for them, because the way that I see it is that can only be a good thing. At the end of the day, one of the things that people have complained about a lot over the last few years is botched NXT call-ups, and I don't think you would have to call people up as often if there was more competition out there, because one of the things that contributes to that probably is the fact that they're constantly signing new talent. They're always looking for new people, trying to snap up those top stars, and there's no room sometimes down in NXT. Sometimes it gets so stacked that they have to move people up so that they can bring in the new people. And the way I see it, if you've got AEW there, who are also signing up big talent, those top names, really, just taking those people away from WWE. You might actually get longer stays in NXT from the people that you like, because there's not people coming in as often, those big names that really need time in NXT to have the spotlight on them. I think that there will be less of those, so you might actually get more exposure for the people that really need it. You know, if there wasn't people coming in from underneath him, someone like Johnny Gargano could stay in there a little bit longer, but as the way it is now, there's always someone new, there's always another big name that they've signed, and so you can't have them stick around as long. And like I said, if you've got that competition aspect to it, where WWE aren't necessarily guaranteed to get those biggest names that are going, then it might actually benefit NXT in a way, and that's exciting to me. Reason number 4 is that UK market that AEW seems to want to push into, for similar reasons to number 3, really. Because I feel that if AEW can make a significant push into that UK market, which they seem to want to do with the partnership that they're fostering with ITV, the Double or Nothing being on ITV box office, and on ITV4 with the buy-in, the hints that we could have weekly ITV shows down the line. I think it would just be beneficial to the UK scene as a whole if AEW could make a significant push into it. It might actually make WWE take NXT UK a little bit more seriously, because at the minute they're sort of half-arsing it, in my opinion. I expected that they would have done another takeover by now, or at least another NXT UK pay-per-view, and I don't think that they seem to be taking it quite as seriously as they take something like NXT. So maybe if AEW can have that significant presence, it might make them take that NXT UK a little bit more seriously. And we also still get exposure to newer people. I haven't necessarily seen much of Jimmy Havoc, although I've heard good things about him. Also Kip Sabian, and I know that there's other UK talent on that roster that they really want to push, so I'm just excited. I can't, to be honest, as much as I don't like to admit it, I do usually have a bias towards the UK wrestlers, because I just find them relatable and cool, I guess, just because I feel like I could know them a bit more, and I'm just excited to see what they can expose me to with that UK talent. So and I'm really excited as well to know that they're going to have those UK pay-per-views. It's just an exciting prospect. So that's my reason number 4. Reason number 5 is new commentators and new styles. I have problems with the main roster commentary a lot of the time. Anyone who's listened to any number of my videos probably will have seen me mentioning the fact that on the main roster of WWE, I don't get a whole lot from the commentary a lot of the time, and this is why, for the most part, I stick to watching and covering NXT. Now, I'm really excited to see some new commentators that I haven't been exposed to before. Obviously, I know that I will know who JR is, but I haven't necessarily seen a lot from Excalibur, and I'm not sure who the rest of the announced team is. But I'm really looking forward to being presented with new voices, new styles of commentary, to see what they're like. There's a huge difference between someone like Tom Phillips and Nigel McGuinness when you come to the WWE side of things, and I'm sure that there's a huge difference between, say, someone that I've heard of like Kevin Kelly and whoever does the Impact commentary. There's constantly different styles. There's way more different ways that you can call a match, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they have to offer in terms of that. I know that AEW is going to be very focused on the in-ring action. They want that sports-like feel to it, and I appreciate that, because I do like wrestling as a sport, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how well they can keep me up to date with the story beats and the spots, or whether they leave me confused like WWE commentary does sometimes, and I'm really not trying to just shit all over WWE at the minute. But I do have to admit that there's occasionally, and not even so much occasionally, there's a lot of the time, there are times that they let me down, don't call spots, particularly the finishes to the matches, which I've been having a problem with recently. So I'm just really looking forward to seeing new styles of wrestling from different talent that I've never heard of or have seen before, presented to me through new eyes and new mouths with new styles and different ways to call a match. I'm really excited to see that. And finally, reason number 6 is it's a brand new company with a history that I can jump on board with and know pretty much what happened from day one. Now, I don't watch Being the Elite. I would like to, and I have tried to, but I find it very confusing in terms of, at the minute, I don't know who most of the people are, and they're just voices to me, so it's hard to tell people apart and see who's who. And maybe a couple of months down the line, once I've got used to the AEW roster and that sort of thing, I might be a little bit more familiar with it and I can actually watch it a little bit more. But I know, for the most part, I know that, you know, the Elite helped to put together All In, and everything's happened since then. But one of the reasons that I've struggled before with jumping into indie promotions and getting into something like Ring of Honor or New Japan is just because of the history that they have. The nature of wrestling is that you've always got those rolling storylines. People like to they like to reference the history and the stories that are going on at the minute, and I never find that there's a good place to jump in. So I'm looking forward to getting used to a company and getting to watch a company that has no history that I don't know about, that I'm completely up to date with, that in a few years' time, 10 years down the line, if AEW is still doing really well, if they've managed to find success and they're still going, then it's just, I'm going to have known everything from day one. All those people that are there, that if there's certain talents that they've had there since day one that are still there, then I will know everything that they've done in that company, rather than, having to go back through the WWE network to watch the countless hours of history that they have, or trying to jump into New Japan with all of the ongoing storylines that they have, and all the different factions and the alignments, etc., etc. I'm just looking forward to a brand new company that is a complete blank slate, and especially with them having this, they seem to want to strive to make it as inclusive as possible, with all the moves that they've made towards just all the inclusiveness that they've done. I'm struggling to think of all the stuff now, but like the anxiety rooms, etc., that they were looking to set up in case you didn't want to watch it in with the whole crowd, etc., etc. So that gives me hope that somewhere down the line, you might get audio description, that sort of thing, that they might be a bit more open to doing that. So yeah, those were my reasons why I'm excited for AEW, and that number 6 is definitely the one that makes me the most excited. Just a brand new company that I can just completely get invested in from day one. So those were my top 6 reasons why I'm excited for AEW. What are your reasons? Let me know in the comments down below. Even if you're not excited, let me know why you're not. I'm really, really looking forward to hearing from all of you. Stick around for part 2. If you've liked what you've heard here, remember to hit that like button, hit subscribe and the notify bell if you always want to stay up to date with WITD, and I'll see you on the other side.